This is my actual playbook, why I'm doing this. It's mom and pop shops with no succession plan, things you already know already, but they're aging out and there's all of this opportunity. It's $600 to $900 million in New York City alone. And it's called the silver tsunami because they're about to retire. They're 60 and above and no one is going to take over their businesses. Remember when we went to all these stores? You already got a glimpse of what this industry is like. I'm trying to tell the story of how they're just like unknown faces, right? There's these Koreans and these Chinese, and they do your fucking clothes. This is every New Yorker. They don't have a face, they don't have a name, they don't have a voice. That's the story that I want to show. That's why I wanted to feel like something.
Find 3 or like a few really interesting people who you work with who own other stores who are like the most interesting stories that you think would make people feel for them on camera. Okay. You get them and ask if they'd be interested in doing like a soft interview where it's not really camera in front of them. It's more so me going there with you and we film like a scene and I film like portraiture stuff of them with a shot of them like looking at their work, their achievement, and it's voiceover of them talking about when they were a kid and how they grew up and what it meant, what their mom told them when they were a kid. And it makes sense because then it's a shot of someone looking at their store and where they are today.
Right. Okay.
And it's them reflecting and like that gets emotion driven up from anyone. Like,
got it. Okay.
That's what I mean. Like if you got like 3 people like that are interesting stories, but also you're one of those stories and you combine it to kind of talk about this underlying. I think then it comes down to figuring out how to shoot it without compromising on quality. Because the documentary work doesn't need to be the highest quality, but what I'm saying is if I can get a sound guy to come out with a boom, or if I can get lav mics to be hooked up to these people and get the permission to.
Yeah, he'll do it.
So, okay, so if that's the case, then I could like shoot this with the standard things that I would be able to throw into the edit and make it sound and look better.
If we could keep the setup as minimal as possible, because then they get intimidated.
All right, I see.
That's why I like your hand cam.
You want it shot kind of observatory, meaning like I'm not really
there
in their way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like the way you're gonna do that is we're gonna have to get the lavs. The sound person's gonna be too intimidating because they're gonna have a boom hole and there's gonna be a microphone in their face.
We're gonna do that. Let's do it. We'll do it.
I mean, we have to just let me know what dates you're thinking.
Okay, let me connect them because this is here. Let me show you what I'm working on, what the actual business proposition is. I think it'll be useful for you just to see it on paper. So I want to use this documentary to show that, to tell that story. Because the investors, they see this, they like understand the numbers, but when you
explain
thank you.
When you see it and hear it, you don't feel it.
Thank you.
And you see actual people and their faces and stuff.
What I need you to tell.
Yeah.
Because this I'm sending out already. Mm-hmm. I went to the clean show and everyone like gets it. But then here, you have to see the messages to believe it, because then I'm getting hit up by people in central New Jersey and they want me to take over their dry cleaning plants and I can't. They're like, all of your content, like my parents, they're retiring. Right. I am personally hurt when I see these businesses go out.
Right.
I'm hurt in 2 ways. First, I'm like, wow, that's a financial loss that I could have taken over. And then I'm like, you had this thing for 10, 20, 30 years and no one wanted to take it?
Yeah.
That's what you have to capture on camera.
All right.
How do you do that?
I think it's a matter of like talking about me and you and figuring out these people, if we do ask some questions and stuff, like these other people who aren't just you, right? Other owners that are at that age who might be retiring soon or thinking of it at least. Maybe your perspective is like the youthful, more present day like eyes on this topic. And then you have someone who's ready to retire, super tired of the business, and you get their perspective. But at the same time, you paint their picture in a way where it's very relatable, very poetic, very emotional, like packaged emotion. Mm-hmm. So that way, people who look at the video, they see these perspectives, but those perspectives of people who are older will drive more attention to the issue. And then on top of that too, should come up with interesting questions that like you don't actually film us asking them, hey, this and this and this. You just film it, and then you record the questions, and then you take the voiceover answers and you throw it over visuals that are like strong and bold and stuff with them doing stuff throughout the day. Like maybe there's like a photo of them when they're a kid with their mom and their dad that you could throw in there. Like found footage is very useful. So if you have footage of you when you were a kid, maybe on VHS cameras, like things like that are really useful too for these things. Like they show real people. That's what I would do. You can shoot it locally and stuff, but I think you should go travel somewhere and try to shoot something like that. So if there's like a place like in Long Island where you live that's interesting to bring up.
I do.
Little moments, little mini things like that really help in documentaries. There's so many ways to make documentaries. Main thing for you is you have to decide if you want your thing to feel poetic, meaning like you want it there to feel like feeling and emotion, experimental. Like if you want it to feel like not just like a sterile Ken Burns documentary where you're like a shot of you in front of a barn and you're talking. Yeah.
I want emotion.
You want you want it to feel sincere and like relatable and stuff. So you have to shoot it in a poetic or reflexive way. That's what they call it. There's many different types of documentaries.
But you can do it?
You gotta let me plan it out. When you do documentaries, there's never really a shot list. But when you have a story in mind, and for me, from knowing you, I kind of know what you're getting at with like what you want behind the documentary, and we can sit down more and with pen and paper and flesh out stuff. Like if we were gonna do this, you can make like a documentary, but by like kind of piecing things together and deciding where you want to shoot, what do you want to shoot, what's the direction and stuff. What's up?
Because we've already shot so much content with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of content you can turn into.
Turn that.
Yeah.
So can we do that?
Well, the thing is, the archival footage, I think will be good for B-roll. We still have to shoot like the master of the documentary. You have coverage though, meaning like you have customer interactions, you have events, you have real coverage where you could throw in a segment wherever you wanted to. But we just need like the bones of the documentary for me to make a new edit and stuff.